Hey guys, Jackie with Famished Farm, and we are here today for a quick storm cleanup. Hurricane Francis came through this area while we were on vacation while the storm came through. We were up in Illinois at my niece Allie's wedding, and so we missed kind of the fun. We apparently had some wind and some rain bands that kind of stuck around for a while. I'm not sure quite how much rain we had because our rain gauge was overflowing at 7.5 inches. Lady 2.5 miles from here had 10 inches, so I'm not sure exactly how much we had, but the ground is definitely soaked and the clay will take a while to dry out. We had very minimal damage. I'll show you our piles of tree limbs that we cut up. And one of them honestly was already down. Cut our Chinese elm tree down over there that had a branch hanging over the fence. And we cut that down before we left, just preventative, so it didn't do any damage to the fence when the storm was passing. Lots of little branches down. I will have definitely another day of wood chipping to do sometime in the not too distant future. I collected another pail, heaping pail, full of sweet gum pods that I added to the planter that we put out together a couple of weeks ago. And got that a real nice layer now. That took 3 pails of those sweet gum pods to get that nicely filled up, and I'll show you a picture of that also. Other than the few small branches, and most of the limbs down were like 1 inch and under. The one that was back here was probably a 4-inch branch, 4 to 6 inch branch, and a couple of the ones out front were maybe 2 inch. So it really minimal as far as wind damage goes and tree damage. And then in the garden, I'll show you the trellis kind of sprung from the fence, which means the wind definitely affected that fence along the back of the property line. The trellis where my San Marzano tomatoes are, and some cherry tomatoes next to it. The cherry tomato tower looks the trellis came over, and the square trellis, tomato trellis for the San Marzanos held it up. So no broken branches, no broken plants, and had a nice big harvest of cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, and a big bundle of green beans. So that was really nice. The snow peas are coming up. I'm happy to see that. The cucumber never came up. Something ate it, I think. The rattlesnake beans are coming up. I think those are the pole beans I planted a couple weeks, probably a couple weeks ago now. We have snow peas, rattlesnake beans, and lettuces that are still coming on strong. The cherry tomatoes are prolific, as I've said before. I can really grow a mean cherry tomato. I wish I could grow a really good slicing tomato. That's going to be my project for next year. I'm happy that we got the rain that ended our probably 50-day drought. That was wonderful. Not sure what other kind of damage we had in the area because, again, we didn't really hear too much other than up to 10 inches of rain. Saw a couple trees down that went across the county road that we came through Tennessee into Alabama on, and looks like that was cleared with chainsaws, and probably residents did that to get through. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking, it looks like combined corn while we were gone. The beans in the field next to us and across from us are still, they've got weeks to go before they're ready. They're still nice and green. I hope everybody in further south was as lucky as we were, wind-wise and rain-wise. I haven't heard too much about this storm because we were camping without any access by choice to radios and very limited access on our phones. We had vacation away from our devices. Anyway, I hope you guys are okay wherever you're at. Leave me a comment down below if you guys had any bad storm damage or anything out of the usual, just to let us know how things are going where you are. We'll leave you just with a montage of what's coming up in the garden, what's a little bit new since our garden tour. So stay tuned. This is our tree that came down. This is a sweet gum tree that came down during Hurricane Francine, or Tropical Storm Francine, probably when it got up to us. And this is in the area right by our compost pile. To the right of the screen is where our shed is that we keep our lawnmower in. To the left of the screen is the little compost area for grass trimmings. I have a dirt pile, and then we keep our firewood back here too. And you'll see I am filling up another pail with sweet gum pods so I can add to the new planter that I just added those to before we left on vacation. So this is, for us it's free mulch. We use the branches themselves in various planting beds at the front of the house and in the walkways in the garden. Here you see Rod's gonna use the chainsaw. This branch is not huge by any stretch, and this electric chainsaw takes care of it with no problem. But the mulch that we get from this is saving us lots of money from having to buy bagged mulch or get, a mulch delivered. So I'm for it. And like I said, I like my little 1.5" Harbor Freight trimmer. Now Rod's moved on to the Chinese elm tree, and that we took down in anticipation of wind coming, so it didn't do any damage to our fence. And you can see the Chinese elm behind me. It kind of shoots off to the right. That elm tree was growing up in the middle of a cedar tree, so it was fighting for light. That's why it's that shape. And eventually the whole thing will come down when we decide what we're going to put in that corner, kind of behind the fence. Some kind of tree or bush will be going in there. But for now, we keep it up because Rod likes the shade that it provides when he's mowing or taking a break from mowing. Now we're going to move to the front yard, and I've got the wheelbarrow, and Rod forgets something, so he's going to go do what he's going to do. And we've got some branches under each of these trees that have come down, so we'll get those gathered up. And I try to do anything, 1/4 inch or bigger. I think I do a little more aggressively than Rod does because he kind of knows what the mower will chop through, and I don't really know, so I probably pick up more than he picks up. But we get a nice big load that's gonna go into the burn pile, and actually it's going to go into the chipping pile that's located on the fire pit. But this takes just a few minutes to get out here and do this, and this was just a beautiful day. It was windy and cool-ish for Northwest Alabama in September. We were so thrilled not to be doing this in 100+ degree heat. So it was a nice day, and it was also very low humidity, so super nice. Now, as we're doing this, we're taking stock of kind of the status of the water that came through. Water generally flows off of our property pretty good. You can kind of tell from this angle, it might be more camera angle, but this property does slope to the north. So north is on the right of the picture, south is on the left, and straight ahead is due west. So 8.5 inches of rain, or anything over 7.5 inches that we got, it didn't pool for very long anywhere on our yard. The area that it pools is kind of by the the knockout rows on the left side of the driveway out front. There's no real plants in there. The cherry tomato, why do I keep saying cherry tomato? The knockout rose is not in an area that's low, so generally we don't have water sitting there either. It's just kind of in a patch of lawn that is right next to the field, where that section of the field, if there's lots of rain, that section also has a kind of a swampy area to it too. So we're kind of going to finish up here in this branch collecting deal. And all of these branches are going to go right to the fire pit. That's kind of where we have a couple areas where we dump our wood that's waiting to be chipped. You saw the first one. It's on a piece of asphalt between the compost pile and where the lawn trimmings go. It's where we keep our burn barrel, and that works out pretty good. Generally, if there are branches that come in the backyard, they go back there by the burn barrel. If they come out of the front yard, we put them over here to the side where the fire pit is. And you can see this is, quite a few branches coming. And generally, if I were doing this on my own, I would just walk them. I figure I'm getting my steps that way. Because Rod's helping, he grabs the wheelbarrow and we do it in one trip. So look how much this fire pit pile grows, which is super good. Like I said, free mulch, guys. I mentioned in the intro that the cornfield that's just across from this bean field in front of us here got combined. The combines are out in this part of the state, and in fact I noticed a line of traffic last night, just about dinner time, the combine heading back to his headquarters there. And now we are back in the backyard again. I'm going to finish up. I've got some more of these sweet gum pods to pick up. And I really should have grabbed my roller basket out because I am killing my back doing this, but it feels good actually today, so maybe I wasn't doing anything to it. But we'll get this pail heaping full, and then we'll move and put those on the new planter that we've got going. But like I said, right above me in the sweet gum tree, there are 3 more branches that are at least of this size that are going to be coming down at some point. We just hope they're not going to come down when we're back here, which we're generally not out here when it's super windy. So hopefully that won't be happening. The area behind me over there with the tarps is where Rod keeps the ladders, the extension ladders, and the lawn rake. And we've just got a lawn chair sitting back there so we can take a break. But that area is kind of where we plan on putting the lean-to whenever we make that. And that is probably going to be about 16 feet long and probably 8 feet wide. And probably will have 1 open bay and 1 closed bay on it. I'm thinking of making it 2 bays, and like I said, 1 enclosed, 1 side open. And that is, we're getting closer. We are paying off our some other things before we get to that. So hopefully during the winter we'll be able to start getting supplies for that. And maybe by next summer, hopefully by next fall for sure, we'll have that done. So that should be fun. We are, I'm going to build that and plan it myself. And of course, I'm a YouTuber, so I love watching people build their own structures. And I know it probably makes like my brother-in-law, who is a contractor, crazy. But yeah, I think we can do that. And the only thing I worry about is the roof stuff. But I think even that, if we were using tin on the roof or those fiberglass panels, I'm not sure, plexiglass, whatever they call those roofing panels, something like that. I think we can do that. Just don't do it on a windy day kind of thing. We'll see. You guys will see how that turns out. So I'm just about done here. I'm picking up just basically little branches that have fallen into the compost area, and I'm picking up as many pods as I can get out of the compost. I've said before in videos, these will compost, but they take a long time. So generally I don't like to put them in compost, especially now that I can use them in planting beds. So this is the planting bed we did the other day, and this has 2 full pails of the sweet gum pods already on it. And I've said that I would like to have at least 1 pail, this pail we're adding today, and I think it could stand easily a 4th pail, and that would make it nice and pretty much weed free. There's still going to be some hit or miss weeds that come through it, but that will keep the weed seeds hopefully from contacting the clay down below. So pretty happy with this little planting area with my faux boxwood spears in it. This area was just bare clay for quite a long time. We put this metal planter in it and then just didn't do anything with it for a while, so it looks much better having the mulch on it. Here's the elm branches ready to go through the chipper. I'll wait till those leaves brown up a bit. And now I'm showing you the area where the trellis on the left fell down and hit the cage on the right, and so that's slanted. Here's a quick look at the pumpkins coming up. The pole beans, that's a volunteer tomato that I just put a cage on. You can see that was tilted too. And these are the bush beans that I put in, contenders. And my snow peas there. I finally have some snow peas coming up. The white powder is DE powder. So guys, thanks for checking in. Anybody that has called or texted to ask how we fared after the hurricane, we're great. Just a little bit of cleanup to do, and we'll see you in the next video.